Alright, so my bad for ghosting you guys for 8 days straight. I've had someone staying here at my house for the last week, and they were in my office, so making videos was a little bit difficult, but we're back. We're resuming the daily uploads. Sorry again, boys. Today's story time is one that I've been waiting to tell for a very long time, one that's pretty interesting, and one that I get questioned on a lot. Like, I get tweets probably like every week at least, being like, hey man, why don't you smoke anymore? I never hear you talk about like you smoking anymore. Did you quit? Like all your story times used to be about weed stuff and now you never talk about it. Like, did you quit smoking weed? And I did. And I never told the story of really why that happened. I've told like little stories of what led up to it and stuff like that, but this was like the final kind of nail in the coffin moment that made me quit smoking for quite a couple years now. I've tried getting back into it, but it just gives me too much anxiety now because of the story time I'm about to tell you. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this one. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's jump into this. So let's rewind the clock back to 2 years ago. Okay, so 2 years ago, I'm sitting in my room on my bed, just watching some TV, bored as hell, and just doing my normal thing. I just got done working on a video. I was just unwinding, watching some Netflix, and I was trying to find something to do. I was hitting people up. I was hitting up anyone I knew, seeing if anyone was free, because I wanted to get out of the house and just do something fun. So I hit up one of my friends. Let's just call this friend Kyle. Okay, Kyle was one of my biggest like stoner friends I had and still do have, and he was always my first person to hit up to smoke with, and I'd always smoke with him on like a daily basis. And yeah, me and Kyle just used to smoke together all the time. So naturally, like I always would, I hit Kyle up on this day because I was bored, no one wanted to hang out, and he was one of the only people I knew that would be down for something. So I hit him up and I was like, yo man, what are you up to tonight? He's like, nah shit, you trying to smoke? Like Kyle already knew what was up, so I replied and I was like, fuck yeah, come through. And literally no less than 15 minutes later, Kyle was in my driveway honking his horn so I could come outside. So I go outside, I sit down in Kyle's car, and we immediately just get to it. We start smoking, we're just in my driveway, blasting music, doing what we normally do on a daily basis. And I was enjoying myself. Nothing out of the ordinary was happening. It was like any other smoke session with Kyle, just smoking and enjoying ourselves. Nothing bad whatsoever. And then shit got a little bit weird. Like halfway through our smoke sesh, Kyle looks out his driver's side window and he goes, yo, are you seeing this? And I look and I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I immediately realize what he's talking about. There is a man standing in the dark street, like it's nighttime at this point, standing in the dark street under a street light, just like with his hood up, standing there, staring into nothing. Now listen, people walk around with hoodies on all the time in my area. It gets cold at night. Like, it's nothing out of the ordinary to put your hood up and walk home. Like, I do it all the time. But this dude was just standing still in the middle of the dark street, just staring into oblivion. Like, it wasn't at us specifically, but he was, like, staring down the street. That was the direction he was turned towards. So I look at Kyle, and he looks at me, and he's like, bro, I'm not tripping, am I right? Like, you see that. I was like, yeah, I see it. He's like, this is weird. I don't want to smoke out here anymore. Let's go to your house. So yeah, we immediately jump out of the car and fast walk into my house and continue smoking in my bedroom. But the thing is, my bedroom window pointed out right towards the front of the street where this guy was standing. So this whole smoke sesh, we're just staring at this guy, watching him stand there and just like watching him do nothing. Like, it was so weird. So like 10 minutes goes by and we finish up smoking, and at this point we are both just absolutely fucked, to say the least. Okay, I don't know how else to put it. We're both just gone. And us being gone meant we were about 10 times more paranoid than we already were. So now we're really freaking out. We're like, who's this guy? Maybe he's here to get us. Like, maybe we know him from school or something. Like, how'd he get my address? Like, we were just tweaked out, right? Like, we had no idea what was going on. So then Kyle has the brightest idea ever, and by brightest, I mean stupidest idea ever, to go and talk to this guy. He goes, yo, I'm going to go ask him what he's doing outside your house. Like, try and get him to leave or something. I was like, bro, you think going to talk to the creepy man is going to get him to leave? How about we just stay here in my locked house where it's safe and we don't engage with him? And he goes, nah, man, I want him gone. It's killing my vibe. I'm like, bro, fuck your vibe. I'm not trying to see you die today. He goes, no, I'm just gonna go talk to him. And he stands up and he starts walking towards the front door out of my bedroom, to which I jump up and I run after him. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but apparently I have low blood pressure. You're probably wondering, Austin, how'd you figure that one out? Well, I stood up and I ran over to him to stop him and grab his arm. And when I grabbed his arm to stop him from opening my front door, I immediately started feeling weird, like lightheaded, kind of weird feeling in the chest, like a sinking feeling. and my vision started to go black, and I was seeing sparkles. And I couldn't stand up. I fell down to the floor, and the next thing I know, I was out cold, completely passed out. It felt like a second went by, and then I was waking up. Like, I didn't even know what happened. I just, like, fell down and then woke up. Like, it was the craziest shit. 1 second, I'm falling down to the ground. The next, my eyes are opening, and I'm staring up at a light, and I'm laying on the ground in my hallway, like, coming to. And you're probably wondering, Austin, what'd you wake up to? Like, what happened? So I open my eyes, and I'm laying on the ground in my house, and I open my eyes to Kyle looking down on me. And I'm like, yo, what happened? He goes, dude, you were out for like a minute. And I was like, what? He's like, you passed out, bro. Like, you grabbed my arm and you fell down and just went out cold. I was like, fuck. He's like, bro, you gotta go to a hospital or some shit. So yeah, he stands me up, walks me outside, and proceeds to put me in his car and pull out of the driveway and start driving me to the hospital. And the weirdest part about all of this is when we were pulling out of the driveway, that creepy hooded dude was gone. He was no longer under that street light. He wasn't on my street whatsoever. He was just gone, disappeared. And I asked Kyle about it. I was like, bro, where'd that guy go? He's like, I don't know, man. Like, beats me. You passed out. I was distracted by you. I didn't even get to talk to him. I was like, wait, what? You didn't even see, like, where he went or anything? He's like, nah, man. I was fucking making sure you weren't dead. I was like, all right, fair enough. So anyway, we pull out of my driveway and we start driving towards the hospital. And after we get to, like, the halfway point to the hospital, like, we're halfway there, I look at Kyle and I'm like, bro, I don't need to go to the hospital. I'm fine. Let's turn around. He goes, fuck that, man. I don't trust that at all. Like, something's probably wrong. I just want to make sure and be 100% that you're going to be okay tonight. I was like, dude, I don't need to go to the hospital. That's just going to be way too long. Like, I'm good. Trust me. He's like, nah, man. At least go to an urgent care or something. So we agree that I'll go to an urgent care instead because it's like one under a hospital. It won't take as long, and they'll probably run most of the same tests, like blood work and stuff. So we go to an urgent care instead. And I walk in the urgent care. They were just about to close. They closed in like 20 minutes. And they get me in really quick. They bring me to a room. They ask me what happened. I tell them. I also told them that I was really high that night, and maybe that had something to do with it. And the lady was like, yep, bingo. I guarantee that had something to do with it. And I was like, how would it? And she's like, you probably have low blood pressure. And sometimes when you smoke, your blood pressure goes low. And if you already have low blood pressure, it can get really, really low and cause you to pass out and stuff. And I was like, wait, really? And she's like, yeah, we're going to run some blood work and check everything. So she ran some blood tests. She also checked my blood pressure. My blood pressure was low. I looked at what it was supposed to be at compared to what mine was, and mine was definitely low. It wasn't dangerously low or anything, but it was definitely low enough to cause, me to faint if I was to get up and run like I did. And that explained it. And the blood work all came back pretty good. My blood pressure was the only thing that was low. And that was pretty much the conclusion we came to, that I had low blood pressure naturally, and smoking made it even lower. And yeah, for the next couple of days, I would keep an eye on my blood pressure, and it usually was low. So every time I would smoke after that, I was just way too hyper aware of how dizzy I would get. So I had to quit. Literally, I had no other choice. I could either keep smoking and be dizzy all the time and be constantly aware of it, or I had to quit. And honestly, quitting was probably the best thing I could have done because it made me way more productive, because when I smoked, I would get lazy as fuck. I was just one of those people that couldn't handle it. And also, I wouldn't get dizzy anymore. So here I am. I still get dizzy from time to time because I have low blood pressure and shit, but I'm not nearly as dizzy as I used to be because I don't smoke anymore. Now, I still have no idea what happened to that dude that was standing outside of my house that night. I don't know where he went, but honestly, looking back on it, I probably was just really fucking paranoid because of the weed, and he was probably just waiting for a ride or something. I don't know. But my fucking God, did it look creepy. He was standing under this really dim street light, staring into nothing, and he wouldn't move. He didn't move at all from the time we noticed him to the time he was gone. Stood so still. It was so weird. But yeah, a lot of the panic and paranoia I was feeling that night probably had to do with me being absolutely fucking gone. But yeah, guys, that's the story of why I don't really smoke anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I've definitely tried it here and there since then. But like I said earlier, it just makes me dizzy and super paranoid nowadays and anxious, so I can't really do it much anymore. I'll do it here and there, but I usually don't have a good time with it. So yeah, there's the story of why I quit and why I don't do it as much anymore. Definitely pretty interesting in my opinion. Not the craziest story I've told on this channel, but pretty interesting nonetheless. Moral of the story is, do not engage with random creepy people standing on your street in the dark. Don't stand up too fast and run like I did, because that can make you pass out. And make sure you guys are always keeping an eye on your health and stuff, going to the doctor regularly, that kind of thing. keeping an eye on yourself. That's always important, because I had no idea I had that going on with me until I passed the fuck out. So yeah, guys, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.